All right, let's get a quick introduction to Scrum for executives. Before we end this session, I am going to send you on a treasure hunt, and I will have you looking for some soda cans. So hold me accountable to that promise. Um, let's start our conversation. Imagine you're working for a company that provides water to thirsty customers, right? The challenge is that you feel as an executive of your company that your delivery team is really slow as molasses or slower. And you are looking for a way to squeeze more juice to get them to, speed up and chop and deliver more water to your thirsty clients. It's like they take forever, your teams take forever, and finally they maybe deliver a drop of water where the client wants much more, right? So you've been looking for ways to speed things up, and then you have an epiphany. You hear about this thing called Scrum, and you hear that this is a great way to get more work done from less people in less time, right? And sure enough, you tried, and miraculously, the team's velocity increases, their delivery increases, and the team that used to barely squeeze out a few drops of water now suddenly has delivered pallets upon pallets of bottled water. Awesome. We feel that we are 100% agile transformed. Let's start the celebrations until we get a call from the customer. Customer is very frustrated. What's going on? So we are wondering, it turns out that these thirsty people who we were hired to give water to are actually participants in a marathon. And we just delivered like a gazillion bottles of water at the end of the marathon, whereas these pesky users, they wanted water at each of the stations, the drinking stations, which are typically about 2 miles apart. I have no idea. I've never run a marathon. I can barely run around my house. And I have no intention of running a marathon. I Googled all this stuff, all right? So, naturally, a lot of the marathoners didn't make it because they were waiting for water. The water stations were empty because all the water was at the finishing line, all right? So you'd say, okay, fine, let's make some adjustments. Now you start having bottles of water, and you start handing out bottles of water to the marathoners at the stations 2 miles apart. Fantastic, 100% agile transformed. Let's start the celebration. Damn it, not so fast. Another phone call from an irate customer. Now what? What do you want now? Again, turns out that the marathoners did not make it. Why? The water was dirty. So the source from which we get water, maybe it is somebody's bathtub or some other grotesque, gory, unpleasant source of water. Okay, we make some adjustments. Scrum has this thing called definition of done. Looks like these guys are interested in technical excellence and quality. Fine. So you know what? We apply that. We start testing the water. We start purifying the water. And now this time we put pure drinking water in the bottles. All right. Now we give clean drinking water to the marathoners at the water stations. All right. Fantastic. 100% agile transformed. Let's start the celebration. Damn it. Again, get a call from the customer. Now what's the problem? Many marathoners did not make it to the finish line, got dehydrated, collapsed. Now what? Turns out that as they are running, they're trying to grab this bottle of water, and they're trying while they're running. They're tired. They're trying to open it. It's hard to open it, and just throw it on the ground because they say, "Damn it! I don't want to lose this marathon. I'm going to push my body." They push their body pushed back, and they collapsed. So, okay, we need to make some adjustments. What adjustments shall we make now? Maybe we give them cups of water instead of bottles, right? So they're running. They go to the water station. They pick up the cup, drink it, and then they're on their way, right? Fantastic. 100% agile transform. Let's celebrate. Damn it, again. They get a call from the customer. Now what happened? A lot of marathoners collapsed. Why? Looks like there are many kinds of cups, right? You could have this plastic cup, you can have different like paper cups, maybe like what you get in Starbucks. You can have a styrofoam cup, you can have a plastic cup. And turns out that none of these are good for marathoners. What's really ideal is maybe I don't know, 5 to 8 ounce cup, which is filled up about 2/3 full. So when they crush it, if it's paper, it's not going to poke them, it's not going to hurt them. So it turns out these marathoners are very pesky and demanding users, finicky. So I hate it when they do that, but sadly, that's the kind of person we're dealing with here. So fine. So we get feedback. Okay, you know what? Maybe a paper cup about, I don't know, 8 ounces, 5 to 8 ounces, 2/3 full. That is ideal for our users. Fine. Make some adjustments. Start giving them paper cups. Fantastic. 100% agile transformed. Let's celebrate. Damn it. Again, customers cranky. Now what happened? Turns out the marathoners collapsed. Now what's the problem? Turns out that there are different body types. And in fact, even for the same body type, maybe different stages of the marathon, sometimes the body needs water. Sometimes they need Gatorade to replenish. So just having those water stations with just water is not good enough. We need to have a blend of fluids. All right, fine. So we make the changes and maybe we get a better result. People make it. Yes, we are champions. Our users are champions. So let's recap our lessons. Instead of having a big bang delivery of like gazillion bottles of water at the end, we learned that we need to have fluids at the water station, somewhat roughly analogous to delivering value to your customers in short iterations, short sprints. Frequently give them usable software, just like you're frequently delivering water, clean drinking water to the marathoners every 2 miles, right? That's a flawed analogy. We realized that we need to have quality and technical excellence. We have to build quality in. So we don't want to kill our marathoners. We don't want them to fall sick. So we have to have clean, safe water. In Scrum, there's something called as a definition of done. We value technical excellence. So we build high value, high quality products for our customers. And then we learned so many lessons along the way, right? We learned that, we should have used paper cups, not bottles, that the ideal size is maybe 8 to 10 ounces, 2/3 full. Maybe we need mixture of fluids, water, Gatorade. This is an analogy that represents the learning that comes from users and customers as you deploy to the market. You don't know what you don't know. And the only source of truth, as Gunther would tell us, is the market. So you deploy something to the market, you observe how customers and users react, what's working and what's not working. And if you deliver in small batches and you listen to your customer, then you can course correct. All right. So finally, 100% agile transformed. Let's start the celebration. Damn it. Again, this pesky customer. Now what happened? Turns out that this thing called COVID hit, and the way that marathoners are running now is different from the way they used to run in the past. So what got us here won't get us there. It's a whole new world. It's a new abnormal. I wouldn't say it's a new normal. It's a whole new abnormal, right? So when will we ever be 100% agile transformed? Is there any hope? And this analogy, this flawed analogy story tells us that as long as there is change in the world, change is inevitable, growth is optional, choose wisely, based on what John Maxwell said, right? So there is no point in time when you are 100% agile transformed. It's a continuous journey. As long as the market is changing, the world is changing, the needs of your customers and users are changing, competition is responding, someone faster, better, cheaper is creeping up on you. So there is no one moment in time when you can say, fine, 100% agile transformed, let's have a party, let's celebrate and rest on our laurels. You can do that, but it may not be advisable, all right? So what did I learn from Ken Schwaber, the co-creator of Scrum, when I attended his PSM class in Boston, the Scrum.org PSM class? And my second set of learning was from Gunther and Ken when I attended their Scrum.org PSPO class in Boston many years ago. What I learned from Gunther is Gunther constantly tells us to be aware of a few things, and I created an acronym without his permission. So Gunther, I apologize to you. Thank you for inspiring me, and forgive me if I butchered your idea. And I call it SODA. And Gunther reminds us that the essence of Scrum, the spirit of Scrum, is about situational awareness, being aware what's going on in the marathon, what is working, what is not working, opportunistic discovery, discovering what can we do to better serve the marathoners, our users, the people who we exist to take care of. And then you take decisive action when a threat or an opportunity emerges. You discover the threat or opportunity, and then you don't keep kicking the can down the road. You take action, right? One of my clients, Michael Dunn, who's the CTO, he often says either you manage the business or the business is going to manage you. So there's no point in having awareness and discovery if you don't have the guts to take decisive action, because the decision will be made by someone. You make the decision, or the universe will make the decision for you, right? So this is an acronym that I created based on what I learned from Gunther, all right? So Gunther often says the Scrum Guide is like an iceberg. 10% is above the surface. This is the letter of the Scrum Guide. This is visible to all. 90% is the intent of the Scrum Guide, which is buried beneath the surface. And I know that Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland, the co-creators of Scrum, they work super hard to make the Scrum Guide really brief. So that means that almost every sentence of the Scrum Guide has hidden intent and purpose. And it's so easy to be a robot and memorize the exposed part of the Scrum Guide and be like a Scrum robot or a Scrum police. And it's so hard to go beneath the surface and understand the intent of the co-creators of Scrum. And that's where growth is. That's where we see the butchering of Scrum. That's where we see the loss of the possibility of Scrum, the needless waste of human potential in the name of Scrum, right? So yes, Scrum is a way to squeeze more with less money in less time, but the more is not velocity. The more is not more widgets. The more is Scrum is a way to squeeze more risk out of your system with less time and money. Scrum is a way to squeeze more waste out of your system with less time and money. All right. So this is a different perspective on what Scrum is all about. All right. Now for the treasure hunt. So here is my ask for you. I want you to look for soda cans, and I want you to look for soda cans inside the Scrum Guide. Go to scrumguides.org, pull up the Scrum Guide, and read the principles, the values, the roles, events and activities and artifacts of Scrum and other key elements of Scrum, like the definition of done, and read them not from the perspective of understanding the letter. Yes, by all means, understand the letter of Scrum. That is necessary but not sufficient. Instead, I'm challenging you to go for a treasure hunt inside the Scrum Guide. Look beneath the surface. Look for the 90% of the iceberg that is below the surface, and look for opportunities for situational awareness, opportunistic discovery, and decisive action, right? So if you want our help to apply what you discover, give us a shout. Here are just some of our products and offerings. We can help with executive alignment. We can help with product ownership. We can help with rebooting your Scrum teams. We can help with overall agile enablement and support. If you don't have money, that's okay. We've got a bunch of free resources. You can look at our blogs. This is one example. Who is a professional Scrum product owner? You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. One of our videos is YouTube Modern for Agile. We've got a bunch of free presentations and free webinars. Join our meetup, Agile DevOps DFW, and follow us on LinkedIn. All right. I want to end with a closing thought from my hero, Ken Schwaber, and he always reminds us of the ethics of Scrum and professionalism of Scrum. And Ken often tells us, do the right thing and the results will follow. And if the results don't follow, at least you did the right thing. So if you're traveling the path of agility with Scrum, listen to your gut, try to do the right thing, and the results will follow. All right. That was a quick intro to Scrum for execs. If we can help you with anything, give us a shout. Until our next conversation, thank you, keep calm, and Scrum.